Welcome to Santa Monica. It's been an eventful 24 hours. An almost bomb outside the office, but it turns out that, well, it wasn't an active bomb at least. I don't know, they were still taking photos. More about that later. We are in California. And it's time for more Counter-Strike. The winners from yesterday, some of them will be playing today, some of them will be playing tomorrow. There's plenty of Counter-Strike action to come, and it has been 384 days since we could draw on the map. There's not a day where I let you boys rest, you boys and girls at Valve, at Revolvo. We won't forget, man. We built a clock. We've got a clock hand-built by children in Asia for this purpose. So here we are. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So Robin's here as well. Should include you first.
Hi.
Having a good day. Good start to the day.
I'm great.
Getting the coffee in there.
I like the music on the intro. It's very Kavinsky, like French electro. French electro. There we go.
Okay.
Is it one of those days again? You start off the way we ended yesterday.
I had a hard day talking yesterday. I don't think that'll happen today. Maybe it happened today. Maybe it won't.
Have you had your coffee?
I had a coffee. I went to get my hair cut, and then I got a latte. And then I decided to walk back. It was really hot, man.
Yeah.
It was really hot. That was a mistake. But I couldn't scoot back because I was holding the blooming coffee. So that was an issue. It didn't really work out for me because I can't go for the cold one because of my asthma.
Just get a bike.
It makes me cough.
Get on the bike.
Right. I was gonna say, don't they have the red bikes now?
Yeah, but I like the scooters.
so there is a solution that you're complaining, but you're complaining about just not taking any other solutions.
I want to scoot.
That's.
I was debating on doing that this morning too.
I want to scoot.
Maybe we do it back.
The problem with pedaling is that, like, we did it in Berlin, but it makes you hot, man. Stop perspiring. Yeah. I'm not trying to.
There's not much effort going on there.
I just want the breeze of the scooter.
It's not an actual bike though. It's mostly doing everything for you.
I mean, it is an actual bike.
No, but it's power. It's like an electric.
It's not an actual bike. It is a bike.
Yeah, it's a bike, but it's an electric bike. You're not doing any work.
Said it wasn't
You're not doing any work on that bike.
Work.
Well, maybe you should do more work, James, if that's hard for you.
I haven't tried one of those.
Football is where I do my work.
I feel like I gotta try one.
What, the scooter or the bike?
The bike.
The bike is weird.
They're really nice.
If it's the electric one, I've never tried one of those.
It's unusual because it's like it's like someone's pushing you, but not like pushing the bike, not you.
What's the max
weird.
speed?
Because
the scooters go pretty fast.
It goes reasonably fast. It goes a lot faster than the scooter.
They do, yeah. It feels like you know when you're on a bike at the gym because because the resistance is although it's a little bit weird in terms of it does fluctuate, but it's just like you don't have to really do anything, and you just go. Even if you're going up a hill, it's just like there's no effort there. You don't have to like stand up on the bike and like use your weight to like.
I mean, we'll try it.
I've got to say, I love this pen a lot. Like just the sheer weight of this pen.
Getting used to it now
is amazing. So for those of you who didn't know, this is like. The Americans used to give these to people who worked in foreign embassies because it was the only thing that worked as a potential weapon that it could take through security because it's made of brass. It's heavily weighted at the end, so if you just like bash someone in the head for some reason, then
actually
you have a means of self-defense.
If you go through security, right, and they see that and they stop you, are you still allowed to bring it?
They say for TSA that it might get confiscated, so
right. Okay.
you shouldn't put it in your hold luggage. Anyway, we need to go into the show and go into the format and see exactly how this all works. Week 1 and 2 is top earning teams make it to LAN. Week 3, 4, and 5, the top, the team that wins the bracket that week from each region will make it to LAN. 5 online series per region, as you can see. There's all the detail there at the bottom. There is money to be won as well, so there's a weekly incentive even if you don't quite make it to the very end, which is nice. So 5 weeks total, $125,000 is given away, and then there's more at LAN, of course. So that is the format. We can look at the brackets and see how things are doing in a second. But first, these are the teams which are competing, and yeah, we've got the big teams on the left. The teams from the Pinnacle Cups are on the right-hand side. I'm not a fan of this overlay, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on in the background. But yeah, these are the teams that are mostly playing. They will vary in terms of the Pinnacle Cup qualifiers. So we have seen some different teams yesterday, and we'll see some different teams next week, I'm sure. But we've got Mouse Sports and Virtus Pro to come. In Europe, United we've seen already, and Singularity were also in action. So we can look at the bracket and see what the current situation is here in Europe. So AVANGAR beat Virtus Pro yesterday 2-1. Fnatic, we didn't have their game on the mainstream, but of course they'll be on the mainstream today. They have Newman Golden on the team. There is an interview with Freya and Golden on YouTube. And of course we've got Flusher back as well. Always nice to see him back in action. Forza beat Ambush 2-1. They'll be playing Hapaleno tomorrow, who beat Heroic 2-1. Heroic not having a good time at the moment. They got 16-0'd by Freiburg standing in for another team earlier on today, so it's just not a good week for Heroic, I think.
I mean, they were looking bad yesterday too, right? Especially on that series. I'm not sure if people tuned in, but the T sides were really bad for both of these rosters. It was very CT dominant, all 3 maps. Yeah, it was pretty shaky Counter-Strike, and like you're saying, I mean, they got 16-0 today as well. Not really doing that well over in the Heroic camp.
Yeah, for how long that team has been a team, the T sides was kind of shocking.
Yeah, I mean, sure, they replaced 2 players. They replaced Nato and Freiburg, right? But you would still think that they have something, you know, like at least defaults.
Yeah.
But it's looking extremely shaky, so I have no idea what's going on there at the moment. It's weird.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Forza at least, because they're just so exciting to watch. They play great Counter-Strike. They really punish. Like I think they're one of those teams that, you have a bunch of good players on paper, but they're just like an excellent Counter-Strike team, and they'll just punish you because they'll just play really good Counter-Strike. And so you can't really rely on any name value or anything like that. They are contenders. And so I'm looking forward to the fact that they're also on a collision course with AVANGAR. So if AVANGAR win against Fnatic today, we'll get a rematch of that Blast Moscow finals.
Most likely.
It was a great finals.
They'll still have to beat Hapalenos tomorrow, but today it is going to be AVANGAR versus Fnatic, so we can go into the veto and see where these teams are going to be battling. Fnatic with 2, I mean, I suppose there's some familiarity, at least player to player and so on, with the old guard in that respect. Flusher coming back, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of state Fnatic might be in today. They did win 2-0 yesterday, so Mirage, Dust2, and Train. I'm liking this. I think we could expect a reasonable amount from Fnatic on a map like Mirage, even with 2 players coming in.
That was the map they picked yesterday versus Heretics as well. Like in terms of veto, they vetoed, I guess, Vertigo has always been their brand, but they actually picked Mirage as well. I think it ended up 16-13, 16-9 yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't necessarily seen all too much about
Heretics.
Yeah, I was about to do a James here.
I'm never going to say Heretics. It's always going to be Heretics for me.
Heretics. We're just going to make the decision now then. The Heretics. But yeah, I haven't seen them play all too much. But I mean, it's still considering, 2 new players for Fnatic, even though they're not new, right? It's still a new roster.
AVANGAR,
2-0.
They're the kind of team that will punish that really badly, surely.
I think
they're
so
so structured,
I think so too. I mean, if we look at AVANGAR yesterday versus VP, they were looking a little bit shaky first map. But they did wake up after that, and we kind of saw the AVANGAR we're used to seeing. So, I mean, this is supposed to be, I mean, for me at least, I think it's going to be a great series.
What's interesting for me is that I think AVANGAR are the type of team which are going to be really hard for Fnatic to play in the short term, because Fnatic, with 2 new players, have to focus on trying to build and figure out what they want to do on their sides. So trying to counter AVANGAR doesn't really come into the picture, unless they choose to just play a loose style with some basic defaults. And again, I think if it was like a brand new member of the Swedish community coming in as opposed to Flusher, I think that would be worse. I think the synergy he has with some of the players he used to play with won't go away. That said, of course, you have issues with roles and so on, and so there are issues to be had there, and then how Golden wants to use those pieces. So it's not going to be perfect straight off the bat, but I think I'm confident. I believe in these players. I think they will have some synergy. That said, I still think it's going to be a very hard task against a team like AVANGAR, who just have so much. They have such a great read of the game. Their proactiveness and reactiveness at the right times is really awesome. So for me, it's an AVANGAR pick.
Yeah, for me as well. I think as well at this point in this era of Counter-Strike, you can't get away with that 2015 Fnatic style where you have 5 players who can play no respect Counter-Strike. They can play mid-round, they can play individually really well, they can have good team play, but at this point there's so many layers that go beyond that.
It will be interesting for me at least, because they also have replaced their coach. And I think that also will do a lot for this team, because I do think that they have become a little bit stagnant, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But now with...
Who came in for Jumpy?
The manager, Samuelson, right? I forget the actual nickname. But I mean, I still have
days when people's girlfriends were coaches, so they could stand on stage, man.
Yeah, but I still feel like if you have, because when Golden came in, I mean, they won a few tournaments. They were playing a little bit better, but then obviously we're not playing for the team anymore. But the coach remained the same. Whereas for now, you have Golden again, and you have a new coach. I do think, at least, hopefully, like you're saying, this is not 2015 anymore. You have to change some things up.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, at least, because I think it's hard for a player to do that, to see the tendencies that they're doing. But for a coach, even if it's a new one, it's a girlfriend or whatever, right? Like, to just point out, hey, listen, dude, you're standing at the same spot 10 rounds in a row. Time to change this up, If I can see it, everyone can see it.
So, Sliggy, who are you going with?
Yeah, Vanguard as well. It's just too early for Fnatic. But I think they'll do good. I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to say I think it will be close, but
I think so.
I do think Fnatic will bring something to the table. I don't think it's going to be a mess like it would from most teams.
I think it has the potential to go 3 maps.
Yeah, I think Dust 2 is a bit like the Mirage. I think that's where I would expect Fnatic to have a chance. Even though AVANGAR have a great game of Dust 2, I think that Fnatic to me always had that quality. There's always this quality about Fnatic that the players, they just find those holes like in unconventional ways. They just always had a good intuitive sense. Flusher in particular.
Yeah.
So looking forward to just seeing Flusher back.
Your hair's looking very poofy today, Dan.
What's that?
It's very.
Yeah.
It's like a human.
It's always
garden.
like this.
It's like a human garden.
it's always like this.
It's like a human garden. It's like a hedge, but for people.
Okay.
Anyway,
I think
fan
you both look
predictions.
great.
Let's have a look. I just look, man. I don't have hair like this or this. Yeah, I mean, I do have hair if I want to. I had a haircut this morning, but
James, you could do it.
I feel like you could
Grow
do
out,
it too.
straighten it.
my hair's curly. I
Straighten it.
could relax it.
Chemical straightening.
I could relax it.
Get the chemicals in there. Straighten it.
There's 65%
I
for
saw
Fnatic. That is a lot. There's a lot going on there. I think you guys are crazy. It's good to have. I think people are just happy to have what you could call Fnatic back. Obviously, it's not like the golden roster, no pun intended. But I think that with Flusher coming back, I think is a big win for Fnatic in terms of the old guard. And Golden has shown some promise.
I mean, it is going to be a honeymoon period in that sense. You know, when the old roster comes back, there's going to be. I think that people tend to play a little bit better.
Yeah.
You get some of the motivation back, and it's exciting to see, right? Like, I think that the Fnatic we see today, whether or not they win or lose, it's going to be completely different 3 months from now.
Okay.
So it's fun to see at least that we get that very first-hand view. You know, the announcement was made yesterday of how Fnatic are playing currently.
Yeah, get the baseline.
Yeah.
In there.
Right, it's time for the juice, man.
James,
Bring
I feel
me
like
I'm talking. Bring
right.
me the Pinnacle odds. All right. They've got Fnatic as a favorite. Okay, this is crazy. There's money to be made, boys and girls,
That's gotta
on
be wrong.
AVANGAR. Why would you do this?
That's
You
gotta
guys
be
are
wrong.
crazy. You've lost your damn minds. Obviously, they're Fnatic fanboys.
I will
They've probably
say-
got a little dolly hoost in the Pinnacle office, but to have Fnatic as a favorite, you guys are crazy.
that doesn't make sense. You can't do that, can you? That's got to be wrong.
And what were you going to say when you were rudely trying to interrupt me while I'm trying to run the show?
I was just saying I think you could pull off the Chris Tucker look from the Fifth Element. Do you remember that? Yeah.
I'm not that kind of camp though. I don't roll like that.
This
He's
is
not
now.
camp.
I mean,
Yes, he is. He's
No, in the future.
He's got a high-pitched
I was going to
voice.
say, where's the Photoshops? Just Photoshop James's face on a few haircuts. Let's see what works.
Nice. Someone get the Chris Tucker look from Fifth Element with James.
I can't do. I don't want to Afro. I mean,
I think it would work, man.
considering the size of my head, okay, you've got to bear in mind that the Afro has got a scale with it. So that we're talking like an
Yeah, you
Eiffel
need
Tower on my head. Or
some
something.
volume, yeah.
This is too much. How am I going to get in any door?
You look like one of those toilet brushes, otherwise you just keep it like this.
Okay, I'm definitely never growing my hair now. Toilet brush. Toilet brush.
The dog predictions, by the way, the dog ate the AVANGAR food bowl.
Yeah.
It was off air.
We don't have the dog here today. The dog that we had yesterday, I think it's scared of me. Maybe it's a size thing. I don't know. But like when I was picking it up, its legs are trembling. But
I
it's
mean,
not here
we were
today.
on
But
air.
we're trying to insist that it comes back.
He wasn't barking at you, by the way. At least.
I know it
'cause
wasn't
we were
barking
on
at
air,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at least it's not hostile in the sense it barks at you.
It's a door thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's fear and there's, I don't think the dog would bark at me. For sure.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But
Okay.
it's really interesting. I wonder. I need to know why they have Fnatic as a favorite, because I mean it's interesting. They're taking risks.
Someone must be about to be getting fired. I think.
Damn, we're just
Possibly.
throwing jabs.
There's a lot going on there. I'm interested to see how those odds will develop from game to game, because generally their odds are pretty on point and they're pretty reasonable and sensible.
Well, Fnatic's a
they're
new
not
team.
wild.
And AVANGAR just got to the major finals.
Yeah.
And they just won a tournament. And Fnatic's a new team, and also before that point, we're not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Remotely good.
Obviously, these guys don't know about Sanji, but you'll be educated soon enough. We will sing the praises of Sanji. Buy Sanji stickers. Honestly, it's just like it's partly like what he plays with and what you can see him do when he's got better weapons, but it's also how the team utilizes him. It's really fun to watch because I feel like it's something you don't see very often in teams that are winning at the moment.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he gets a very unique playstyle because he plays with these SMGs a whole lot. He gets a whole different kind of like he he's more aggressive than some would be. Like he's more willing to take the gamble of potentially this team has rotated. Let me clear an area of a map, and you see him do that again and again. And yesterday as well. I mean, he was on the flank in most cases.
Yeah.
And it's great, like you're saying. I mean, the whole thing of if you have such a great player that can utilize his SMGs and you get that kind of economy going. But if you kill someone with an AK, all of a sudden, you know, it's basically just free money in your hand. And for him to just run around the way he does, I mean, he was dropping bombs yesterday. And for him to continuously do that, like, it's one of those things of you just always have to be on your guard. It's very hard to play against.
I was like that. Even in Quake, it was a similar thing where, like, you'd have your star players. Like, for example, in AVANGAR, you have your James. And James is going to get the AWP. You're going to build everything around him. But then you got those guys like Sanji, who can kind of fill everything in, get the crap rolls, but actually perform very well because they're really good. And that was actually something similar to what I would do usually in Quake, as I would be that kind of player. I would like having less than everyone else in certain spots, because it was just you can have so much creativity behind that. And if you do it really well, it takes a lot to be able to perform that really, really well. And also by doing that, you give so much space to your star player.
Yeah.
So it's like, so having those players be extremely good and skilled and smart is really important. And it does get underlooked because, as you say, like, you do have to take a lot of risks, and it's not going to be as glamorous. So you have to really know the game to really appreciate, I think, like how much they do.
It's funny. We had I don't know who does the kind of meme tweets on the FACEIT account, but there was one tweet the other day that said when you ask for a drop and they buy nades and give you an SMG instead of an M4, and they had like a face. I'm like, that really triggered me because I'm like, what are you? There's just so much. There's so much to unpack there. I was like, come on, guys, come on.
Did they not Photoshop a face in there?
You know, it was like that's a bad decision.
Oh.
You know.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it's like you don't really understand what the utility is for.
Nowadays, it's not a bad decision. You know what I mean?
What?
If you buy nades and drop an SMG rather than just buying M4.
Exactly.
You got to think about the team.
There's so much more you can do. Yeah, everybody thinks about the eye, right? They're looking at the brass eye, but you got to think of the team, man. With a flashbang and a P250, you could probably do more at the average level people are playing at than with an M4, I reckon. Like,
yeah, I think so too.
You know, if you make a play, if people learn to flashbang for each other, the world is a very different place.
I mean, you just imagine hitting a bomb site without a flash, right? Just the one flash at least gets them to on peak for just a split second. You can at least uncover the angle. No flashbangs, you're just dead. You know what I mean? It's just pure. You're running into crossfires versus pistols, potentially one M4. I mean, you're just dead, right? I think that
you're banking
utility,
on them missing a shot, which is not how you should play the game. You should never assume they're going to miss.
There's a slight delay. The teams are just changing server, just to let you know. So that might be a minute or two. But what's interesting to me, what I find is like one of the biggest challenges in Counter-Strike, like especially at majors, with the commentary, I try to find examples of things that I can give people like a wider range of thinking, because I feel like if you think of people's spheres of knowledge, right? This is like the matchmaking sphere of knowledge. If you look at Astralis, like this is their sphere of knowledge, right? So
when big fist,
when people post, I have a big fist, yeah. When people post that Astralis are boring, I feel like part of the problem there is that they don't understand what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Because for me in that grand final at the major, yes, they were very dominant, but there were so many things that they were doing that were extremely interesting to me, and were just really, really freaking awesome. I thought that was like a highly valuable thing. So. But anyway, like trying to educate people on team play and like pop flashing for each other and playing crossfire setups and all this kind of stuff, I feel to the masses, I feel is something that I don't know what the solution to is yet.
Well, I think at a major as well, what you have more of an emphasis and connection to the narrative and the emotional storytelling versus the other side of what's interesting. And I think that's what people are really craving the most, is like, because if you have a really one-sided game, there's no emotional investment there. There's just one team stomping the other team. Like the narrative is there's no complexity behind the narrative. And most people, I think, most eyes in sports are looking for the emotional connection to a team and to the story of what's happening in that game, but they don't actually see like, oh, that strategy is like really sick. because a lot of these people are maybe they're in silver or even like nothing. Even if they're in global elite, they probably wouldn't understand like the complexity and difficulty of various things or like appreciate the meta and everything else. So yeah, I see what you're saying, but yeah.
But yeah, I think that also comes down. I know that pistol round is live, but just to end it on, I think it also comes down to like I know there are a lot of people, and especially good players. I'll wait.
Go for it. Get it out.
Mirage?
Squeeze it out.
Yeah, squeeze it out.
Squeeze it out. No, but I mean, we don't, in terms of analyst segments and stuff like that, right? It's not like, compared to regular sports, we don't have a lot of time to really explain and really go deep into every single round. So it's very hard, for example, to paint the picture of how beautiful Counter-Strike, for example, a team like Astralis is playing. It looks boring, but every round is planned, you know what I mean? Like, everything is meticulously planned. They know everything what's going on. It's beautiful. The whole thing that they can just go in and just ruin teams that way. And you look at, for example, when even a team like AVANGAR, right? And you look at AVANGAR playing a team like Fnatic or Liquid, whatever, they just dismantle these guys. Like, it looks like it's child's play. And it's beautiful. And it's a shame that, we don't have that much detail to really showcase that in some capacity, but...
I want to pick up on that in a moment, but to jump into the pistol here, we do have AVANGAR making their way onto the B-bomb site. Oh, I thought they were about to get the bomb planted there. Now Kika might have to jump over because he is the only one on the bomb site at this point. Although Sanji will be able to get a kill, and Kika can now plant the bomb. But there's still 2 Fnatic players left alive. It's Flusher and JW. Good to see Flusher back in action, of course. And looks like all the stepping will be heard. Sanji, he got the drop onto JW, but can't get the frag. And now Kika doesn't have much health, but he knows where both players are, and he has to somehow get a kill here. There goes the smoke, and there goes the frag. So Fnatic pick up the pistol. And away we go.
All right, Fnatic start their CT side with a win. There's lots of chatter. See what they do. It's great to see Flusher back. Oh, how on earth has he got away with that? 4x3, Buster looks when it's just too late. I'm looking forward to seeing Buster on the CT side in that short position, potentially with an AWP. That will be fun if it happens.
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't.
Saw him pick up that yesterday.
Yeah, on the B bomb side of Dust2, that will certainly be coming. Fnatic going aggressive with 2 players. Now, utility is important in a situation such as this, be it... Ooh, he's stolen an AK as well.
Cheeky.
You can see he kept a few bullets, so he doesn't spray all of his bullets. Because if he just unloaded completely, one of the T's might run through the smoke and try and punish him while he's reloading. They've got little to lose, even if there is a potential second CT there. Always good to leave 5 or 6 bullets just in case that happens. Broland running distraction now, trying to play with Flusher. He's on 5 HP. He's going to need some help. He's going to need some flashbangs. Broland trying to keep him alive. Here is support from a 3rd player. Adren falling, and I think someone's disconnected, which is why the Crims has gone to the left-hand side. Don't worry about that. It is something that's in the game, not in the HUD, so not much we can do about that. But James got a Glock and 15 HP, and now he's dead.
And one thing I can quickly mention about what you're saying, Robin, about analysts and telling the story and everything like that, and breaking down analytical stuff. One of the issues is that we don't have, I think, the tournament formats in the way that we would like to allow for that. Because I went through this quite a lot with Sponge on my last podcast. We talked a lot about this. And in a perfect world, you get like a week break before the playoffs of a major, and you actually have the time to actually look into all of the strats and have segments where the segments aren't all about building the storylines from all the way, from the like, you have that that approach where you start really wide and then you go down really, you narrow it down. But if you could just start with this is Device's rotations on the AWP in these situations, and this is like one of the problem areas. Like if you can like show the demos, you can like really build these points. I think then the analysts just become completely different. You're actually doing some real breakdowns and can create real expectation as opposed to just generic statements.
I think so too, and I mean one thing to note as well. I obviously know, and especially in terms of percentage-wise, good players versus bad players. Oh my God, we have a quick
fast
starter round here.
Fnatic, I think, were one of the first teams on Mirage as well that really shows great mid setups from the CT's perspective to try to take control there. And it's been dismantled here early on by AVANGAR. And Kika, active as always. Obviously, it looks like he has sacrificed himself as opposed to Sanji in this instance, being on the Deagle, and AVANGAR just poking and prodding towards A. They will find that it's going to be somewhat clear. There's no CTs in any positions that are going to stop them from planting that bomb. Oh, Brolan's created a little gap for himself. That's not bad, but don't think he can do anything with it.
Bomb looks to get planted. With 5 players alive, we'll see if AVANGAR rotates somebody in T-spawn to the mid position. Maybe not needed for now because Sanji's already by chair. Formerly known as Delpan. Don't see too many references to that anymore. James lining up a jungle smoke, I believe. It's jungle or connector, I cannot remember which, but I'm guessing jungle. There we go. I don't practice that one too much. It's always useful to know your smokes. Right, so Fnatic will be saving on the B bomb site. AVANGAR get their first round on the board early. AVANGAR, we've seen them adjust after some bad starts in the games yesterday and in Moscow. So again, they're going to be a very tough test. I think they're ranked number 4 now or something.
Oh, is that the update? I think there was 6 before. Right?
Let me double check.
Yeah, I thought it was 5. I know that the blast event wasn't counted as a
big event.
Event that where they could get ranking points. I think is that correct? Because there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough like top 8 level teams there. Or whatever.
Yeah, they went from 6 to 4.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
I mean, that's impressive.
Deserved.
But yeah, that round was over after 13 seconds, basically. Fnatic, a little bit of a bonus round. Kept the SMGs. They're doing the same thing again. Not gonna work out the second time.
Right, we've got 4 players in mid. The bomb's been left in T-spawn. Fnatic moving into the short position. Crim's on the ladder. And Golden was there for support as well, should it be required. So Crim's position will be good if people are trying to boost into the window later. You can see JW is in the window for now, but he'll be moving around. And Kikert's lurking, starting to move towards the palace.
What I think is kind of cool here, actually, is that AVANGAR do that fast take of mid with a lot of players. And I think that has to be somewhat of a stylistic or a response to how Fnatic play in their style, because Fnatic, especially in a round where they don't have necessarily everything they want, they are definitely going to be a kind of team that will fight for mid early and try to get that position.
Yeah. I mean, I think in general for Fnatic's, I think CT sides will be very aggressive.
Yeah.
Even on the anti-ecos, I think Fnatic just likes to play a very aggressive kind of game. And it's fun to see that, like you're saying. I mean, we saw AVANGAR. They don't tend to take over mid as fast as they have done that last 2 rounds.
Exactly, yeah. And this is really cool. This balcony pop is also a cool thing that we're seeing more from AVANGAR than some other teams. And look at how this is going to work. This is beautiful because you can see how you can isolate players. And the ticket guy often thinks that he's safe, but he wouldn't be in that kind of a push. So Fnatic, they've completely lost position here. They're likely going to have to save. 5 players for AVANGAR left alive. They've got 3 smokes remaining. Just a whole bucket full of flashbangs and a Molotov as well. So there's just no way in for Fnatic.
Yeah,
so
I'm loving the plays from AVANGAR. They had a trade fragger in, I guess a trade fragger in James in Palace. In the meantime, Sanji pops out, does the job, and James can just hold angles from inside the Palace. No warning, no telegraphing their intentions with grenades and so on. And it starts well for AVANGAR, moving to a second round. Fnatic keeping the money together. But they're up against it early. They need to try and figure out how to put AVANGAR on the back foot and get the opening frag.
Yeah, one thing about that as well, that you can look at that or the way AVANGAR assessed how to attack that round after they get that pick in mid. So you ask yourself the question, when a CT side's lost a man early, like what are the most likely setups that they have across the map? Well, they'll usually avoid middle and they'll put more defense on the bomb sites. But what kinds of positions will they be taking? And we saw that AVANGAR managed to get a very effective point of entry through Palace, and a fast mid take again, just Buster this time, straight towards Connector. He sees nothing though, he doesn't see any aggression, no one in Connector. What does this mean in terms of how AVANGAR process this info?
Minute 30. Once again, Fnatic with Brolan close, playing anti-flash at present. He's deep on A alone. With Flusher spotting.
Timing.
You're just like crawling towards it.
Yeah, that's not fun. But I'm not shy to give some sound cues. That deeper smoke grenade, but this is becoming more common. CTs can see over it as well. But there's so much time for AVANGAR. And more players are heading towards the A bomb, so you can see Adren running. I do wonder if he's been heard by the CTs. This looks brittle now. Moves away just in time. Flusher has no grenade, so Fnatic are in the worst possible position, not in the area to properly trade, and they've lost position. They can't do anything about it, really. Flusher forces spray through the box, and now they've got to try and stop the bomb from being planted.
Yeah, Flusher at least holds on to CT for now, but you can see that AVANGAR have taken over jungle. You got Buster over there taking responsibility to that position. We have a boost, and we have everybody, all 4 players for Fnatic towards Ticket. That's unusual in the extreme. They're going to make this work. It's going to be difficult. They are going to have to contend with James as well. He'll make his presence felt from Palace, and now he's going to rotate immediately. That's beautiful because they're going to be always expecting that James can be there, so they will be afraid of that position. But time is running out. So here comes the push. Nice one from Flusher. Crims as well doing some damage. Now James going to announce his position, and it's just not enough left alive at this point.
That's a great retake.
Yeah, that's insane. 4 players from Ticket. You don't often see that.
It's actually, I think it's a Vanguard that normally does stack. You were talking about the disadvantage of losing a member, for example. I think a Vanguard tends to stack a little bit more towards B and retake A.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of like that. I think that A is much more open. It's a little bit easier to retake than B. And then for Fnatic here, I mean, it was looking initially all them coming spawn. If a Vanguard had any more nades, they would probably just opt to save. But it works out for him. Like you said, I think it was smart by Jamie to just take the shot and fall back. But nice job by Fnatic.
They had a nice Molotov as well on triple, which actually mollied both sides, fight off Molotov style, but also if you were trying to boost to have a post-plant angle, which is hard to deal with a headshot angle, it would have forced the T's from all the positions. So that was quite nice. Even more aggressive. Got to be careful. If he goes further, again, if somebody was holding the angle deeper from where Keykurt is, you'd probably see Broland first. So this will delay things. This might thwart the early plans of AVANGAR, worrying if a push will continue. They've got 3 players top mid. JW through the box, and he finds a second in Jame. That was a really nice frag. We don't see warbangs top mid often enough.
I completely agree. I was just going to say the same thing. Sanji, ooh, got to be careful with those jump peaks. Gold's going to lose quite a bit of health. He will exchange it with some the HE damage. But indeed, AVANGAR 3 versus 5. They're in a desperate position. They're going to have to take some big risks to try to find their way back into this one. And Keykurt, I don't think he can do too much from his position. He doesn't have a smoke grenade. If he could maybe throw a lurk smoke, he could maybe get forward position on A, but there's 2 players Ticket, so Keykurt's kind of locked out of being able to do anything. It's mostly on Adren with the AWP in middle at this point to try to find something. You can find something towards Ticket. That would be fantastic, but you can see there's no one up there just yet. Keykurt, he might have to be the one to get the first engagement. I think he must have been spotted there. This is a very hard position to play from. You're trying to check absolutely everything. Shadow's not been checked yet as well, so you see Sanji's going to have to look for Palace and Shadow. So much to check. Not enough players to do it, and now they have almost no nades. And Adren looks like he's going to go back for the save.
Yeah, he's got the AWP. That's always a big one to save. Keykurt trying to keep it expensive for the CTs. Do about 5k damage at least. That's something.
Solid round for Fnatic.
Yeah, they're looking really good right now.
Yeah, in terms of money as well, just losing the 1 member at the end there.
Love that.
Ready. Really nice from JW.
Really good spawn here from Jamie. He had a, I think, similar spawn last round, but he got smoked. I think even better this time around. He's probably going to run up the ramp.
Let's go through it, yeah, it's all the way.
Chooses not to.
They can't see a single thing through that.
I've been waiting so long to have Flusher playing in Swedish CS once again. I've played some games on FACEIT with him before.
Yeah, we didn't really see the Flusher we know, right, in Cloud9, really.
Yeah, it definitely has a Swedish flavor to him. The execute comes in towards the A bomb site. Broland with a little wall to play with. This is very different to the smoke you see from AVANGAR. I'm assuming that Fnatic threw it. Flush of a 2-man spray down. Broland gets taken out in the middle of the site, and there's some variance to be had with these smoke grenades, but they are planting the bomb, the bad plant, the default plant. Keykurt and Palace. We've got Jame looking for a flank on the ramp. Adren's the only person in the site at the moment, but they've got a man advantage.
The incendiary is going to really be very powerful. It'll likely go towards the fireboxes. See if... Okay, there it is. And, well, okay, it looks like Golden got the frag anyway, so... Good stuff there for Fnatic. They make their way forwards. There's a smoke on the bomb, and you can see the power of these grenades. That plant is not perfect. Golden's going to take down one. He's going to commit to this. No, Jay's very close. Goes for the frag. He actually makes it work, but does he have enough time? It's going to be very close. Golden, has he done enough? Oh, just about.
Nice
He's going to pick up the AWP too.
What a retake. And the T-play there as well. Like, super nice by Fnatic. The molly from Crims forces Adren to stand up on the bomb side there, hence the headshot. And then they actually had 2 smokes. Golden obviously drops one on the bomb. Crims dies with one, but this is a great kind of sequence from Golden. Because the bad bomb plant too. This is the hurtful thing. This is why this bomb plant tends to come back and really bite teams in the ass most cases.
Yeah, it's the hardest one to defend. Has the most cover for the CTs. Really, you can only defend it from CT or Palace. So the inverse side, the other side of that, is exposed to a hell of a lot more places.
I am
nice
liking
flick from JW.
Liking what Fnatic is doing here. Very aggressive in mid. This is the 4th round we see aggressive mid.
That's Fnatic, isn't it? I mean, that's what you want to see from them.
But it's great too, because like the answer here, obviously, you need to have a good spawn and kind of have to fight this, or just wait. Adren tried to go underground, help his teammate up mid, but Fnatic ready for it.
Yeah, this is what you want to see. Fnatic stopping AVANGAR from playing their A game, getting that man advantage, just being posing a threat around the map. AVANGAR looking to shock and awe, just as they poked out of Palace. There may be little warning as they make their way into B, but there is a crossfire for the CTs.
Scope was heard as well.
Good trade from Jame, although it's not onto Crims, he will keep himself alive. It was a player in the market, so there's still 2 players on the B-bomb side. 40 seconds left, and there is potential to rotate back, and looks like that's what they're going to be going for here. And as far as Fnatic are concerned, they could just be waiting in the apartments until the last second to jump out. So they can't necessarily rotate everybody away. They don't know what's going on. And Bus is going to make his way up short as well, so this is going to be really powerful here. If he can get a forward position, they don't seem to realize this. I don't think anyone's really covering this. If Buster gets around the side, he will. Now, there are huge problems here for Fnatic, I think. Instant kill there with that Galil. It's another player on the bomb side, though. How much damage is Crims going to do? He's going to deny the plant. There's 10 seconds left. Can somebody go and pick that bomb up? It looks like Sanji will do it as he takes down Crims. And they look to be okay here on the plant at the very least. But here comes the flank from JW as well.
Sanji looking for that, but it's a nervous situation. I can't imagine they know 100% that JW is coming from it. Just about gets a spray with the last bullet. Flusher makes his way through the window, but falls to the floor. And that will be the round for AVANGAR.
Super smart by AVANGAR. You saw there that they actually got the kill on Brawlham, which normally plays A, which is why you saw AVANGAR actually not taking the decision initially to just run off the bomb site. You waited for the guy in mid instead. Taking their time, and that was super smart.
Yeah, it's crazy that Buster managed to find his way around.
Normally, yeah, it is a little bit weird because you would think as well, right? Because even if you hear someone in B, where's the people holding mid or even catwalk at that point?
Yeah. Ooh, JW is going to be in some trouble here. Does have a PT50 though, so let's see if he can get something done. Looks like actually they may not. No, never mind. Gen will continue forwards with the Mag 10, and Sanji also will lay waste to this A bomb site defense. Obviously, it's just a save, so not too much to be expected for Fnatic. Crims will get one at the very least, and that's perhaps all you can really expect. I like that AVANGAR just have a no-nonsense approach to this round. Get into that A-bomb side, kill everyone, and that's all there is to it.
Flush will reset elsewhere. With his 5-7, 15 HP, perhaps he can find something from somewhere. Oh, he's really going for a huge rotation, but he's got the time to do it, so why not? It was interesting, the bomb plant wasn't like I don't think it was the deepest default plant. If you're looking into B from the window of market, there's a wooden panel which is upright, where you can kind of elevate from a CT position to look into the window, but you can spray through that. So if someone's on the other side of that, then you can take some pot shots. So I do wonder if any of the bullets would have landed on that plant on the B bomb site with the time that was left after the initial planter was fragged, but who knows, I'll have to check the angles in my own time.
trying to do a rocket jump.
It's interesting.
Some C4.
Who knows, that 5-7 may have come in handy.
You never know.
I don't know, there was a rifle somewhere. I don't know where, but maybe it would have gone to him, but that's some money he could have kept. Let's not get too crazy, Flusher.
Well, it's going to be 4 to 5 now. AVANGAR with that round are going to be making their way back into this one and applying that pressure back to Fnatic. And they put Fnatic in a spot where they don't have the money for an AWP. JW has a scout instead. So definitely feeling a bit sore off Fnatic, but let's see if they can hold off AVANGAR here. So we get a bunch of nades here, AVANGAR making it look like it's going to be a set piece on A, so they're going to bait out utility from the CT side. JW meanwhile sees basically everyone, it feels like, towards top middle. So now Fnatic know, of course, for sure that it's not really an A play, but where is AVANGAR? I mean, they saw so many in mid, it's very hard to interpret what this is. But what I like about AVANGAR doing that set piece on A quickly to bait out utility is they know that Fnatic can't have a lot of utility and that they won't have the AWPs. Ooh, Golden wins the battle around the smoke there on the B apartments. That's a pretty big win.
That's super important. Like you're saying, there's no utility left on A bomb side, and Kikerteer's walking up. Bomb is also moving towards A bomb side.
Oh.
Oh my.
Smoke dissipating. Just about didn't see. That was quite the headshot from JW, and the frags keep coming from Fnatic. Kika completely blind. Look at the attention to detail from Fnatic, and this is what I'm talking about, the synergy, the Swedish synergy, even with new players, some of which are old, or maybe both of them technically, but some older than others. That synergy is still there with people like Flusher. And again, just like, I think in the Swedish community especially, one of those ones where your base level of operations for this kind of thing is just going to be so good.
Man, we should have brought some colors caviar and Knockebrod. Knockebrod? Yeah.
Go buy it later.
So we could celebrate.
I guess I could have. I wasn't balanced yesterday.
Oh no. Goodbye, Flusher.
He is history now.
Good night, sweet prince.
Yep.
Roland using the cover of the Sound of the Flames to get very, very close. You may have heard James jumping in the palace. So this will be unexpected.
James's third time trying to go for that pick. Gets to the third time. Oh, the timing here.
So many just swings from AVANGAR.
Whoa.
And this time the MP9 is going to do a lot of work. Big bounty for Broland. He's got a nice position now on the 2 players by the ramp. I don't think they've given... Oh, I think they have given some sound cues away as they start to move through. JW might get a free one. Oh, hello and goodbye. Player and connector. He might get caught off. Still alive for... No! Oh, that's nasty.
Okay, that doesn't make sense, but I love it. That's JW. It feels like he's back. Is he back? Is he back, guys? I don't know. Is it too early to call that? We'll see. But that was beautiful from JW. Doesn't look like he had any chance for that. Dren's still alive in this 1 versus 4. Does get enough time for the bomb to go down, but he can't get his crosshair on Golden's head in time. And that will be a defuse. Another round for Fnatic. And I got to say, that previous round that Fnatic won, that was extremely surprising that they survived with 5 players. They looked like... It looked like AVANGAR took the right approach, got rid of all their utility, and so on and so forth. But Fnatic just, with what they had, and this was kind of what I was talking about before, they are really good at working with very little. And that's just always been the story of Fnatic. Crims, Flusher, JW, this Fnatic core, that was their identity in many respects. Weird situations, weird mid-rounds. That is just beautiful.
That's what free-for-all deathmatch is for. Getting weird frags like that in practice. 3-round lead for Fnatic, likely to be 4. The sneaky boost from Golden. Again, if the teaser made a fast play, you can't jump on the boxes for free. Plenty of Qs. The HE will help. He pops in to have a look and gets absolutely wrecked. Adren getting taken out. Crim's moving back, trying to use the range in the meantime. 3 players. They're starting to swarm AVANGAR, but the numbers are being thinned like Donald Trump's hairpiece. 8 rounds for Fnatic, double that of AVANGAR now, who should be back on the buy. Might not be perfect. Adren drops the AWP for James, and they're good to go.
Decent spawn here if they want to do an aggressive mid play. Fnatic, Golden and Broland maybe from connector. They do have a lot of utility now, so... Pretty solid so far.
Yeah, it's really
I feel
good.
like AVANGAR probably not quite used to... I mean, we do see some aggressive plays usually, but Fnatic has really been quite aggressive this series
Showing
so far.
promise, yeah. This is a Fnatic of old you love to see.
I mean, this is the thing though. They actually have to have a strong CT side because they got some new players. So their T side is not going to be up to snuff, I don't think. So they need this. They need to get around 10 rounds for sure on the CT side to make this competitive. I would say, of course, pending AVANGAR winning a pistol, but Fnatic, can they get to 10? Flusher in connector, holding things down. Kika is always sneaky, looking for those timings. And Flush is going to rotate around. Crim's trying to watch over connector, but it's a difficult angle. He'll be forced back. So AVANGAR have got some good positioning. JW's going to investigate. He's been lethal. Oh no! Oh no! Buster somehow gets the frag there, but he takes critical damage. Down to 4 HP. Sanji pushes to B apartments. It was all that was going on, and he's going to get caught off guard as well, leaving Buster on 4 HP with an AWP. I don't think there's too much for him to do here. See if he can get a frag at least. But Fnatic looking great once again.
I think the note here, you were talking about the T sides yesterday when they were playing Mirage. It was actually Fnatic's T side that won them that game. 11 T rounds.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then they started on that side. And then they 5-5, 5 CT rounds. 16-9 was the final scoreline there. So we'll see. Obviously, the difference between AVANGAR and Heretics is a little bit different, but I think that their T sides will be quite a joy to watch. Expect also very aggressive plays.
Yeah.
Defaults into just set executes. 9-4.
Yeah, this is going so perfectly. I do feel like there's been at least 2 or 3 gun rounds where AVANGAR have had or created advantages for themselves, but just been unable to win the rounds. It actually reminds me of yesterday. The first map yesterday seemed like that story as well. Who were they playing yesterday again? I'm blanking.
VP.
VP, yes, exactly. Felt like VP were playing individually more clutch. It reminded me of the Renegades game from the Major. I think I even made that comparison yesterday too. AVANGAR playing the better map, but individually not having the success they need. Fnatic, they're looking really good here. I love seeing Fnatic on Mirage. It's just characteristically always been such a Fnatic map as well.
Look at the area control with the deep Molotov. AVANGAR unable to really respond to anything. The only person top mid was carrying the bomb, so with Flusher spotted in the underpass, it couldn't really make a play. Shame getting tagged. Can't even jump into position because of the spray from Crims. That was pretty awesome. It's not often you see that happen. Trying to jump into position for a quick shot, getting tagged. James got some funky tricks. Now AVANGAR, having tried to go towards B and being denied by the incendiaries, head towards A with a very mixed bag. You can see the execute coming in, the smoke's blooming around the jungle connector and CT positions, and out they come. Flush has got 2 targets, but he can't find one of them. So that's a second rifle now for AVANGAR.
Yeah, but there's no utility for Fnatic, so the retake will be difficult for them, even though AVANGAR don't have a lot of weaponry.
Same kind of mentality for Fnatic. 3 from CT spawn. They do have 2 smokes though.
There you go. Jamie is going to have to be very important. He's around Tetris with the AWP. Oh my God. 2 big kills there. Golden's going to have to speed things up here to get JW into a spot where he can maybe do something. But JW's been forced back towards CT and he'll be fragged, as will Golden. And AVANGAR win a much needed rounds. Bring themselves to 5. It's been a drought for them. They've had no success in the recent rounds. And now they're playing for 6. 6 would be decent, all things considered.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Can shake hands on that. Should it happen? Fnatic had plenty of money though, so the full buy is out. They'll continue with the 1 AWP. We'll see. Will it be another fast one from AVANGAR? I love the peaks we've had from them, the plays through Palace and so on. Jame looking for an early cross, but it seems like Fnatic have learned their lesson. Smoke is up just as Flusher makes his way over. Roland looking over the smoke. You can see AVANGAR seem to be very aware.
Yeah. Oh my, you're really pushing it, good Prolan. It did look like from the X-ray that they are, expectant of that sort of play. So Prolan will get out of there. That's a smart move. Adren's I love this from Adren. He's just pursuing. Prolan might get caught here. He's managed to find himself some cover on default, but Adren is moving forward towards Sandwich. He'll lose that fight, but Kika gets the trade. Flusher pushes the smoke towards bench and then gets back, and he's good for a frag. Only 3 left for AVANGAR now, so he must get the bomb planted, and that's the problem. Everyone's so good at... my God, again. Everyone's so good at these lineups through the smoke on these open plants, and Flusher annihilates the rest. Quad kill for him. 10 rounds for Fnatic. Can AVANGAR come back? We'll find out after this break. Shana Shaba hello. Fnatic are crushing it right now.
What about the Kazakhstani way?
Well, they're not crushing it, are they? They don't get that yet. So
They just won
for now,
Blast,
it's
they
gonna
just
be
won
Shana
Blast
Shaba
Moscow
hello.
and came second at the major.
And yeah, but shut up, James. You're ruining everything again. So we got the pistol round, the quick rush through the B apartments, and Jane will make quick work of Crims, and Adren's position's not too bad, is it? By the bench, he'll get taken down eventually. Sanji, though, on the bomb site, still causing problems, as will Jane, leaving it to Flusher. Got the quad kill at the end of the last half, looking to continue in that fashion. He's going to take down 3 here. Manages to isolate Sanji. This is starting to feel kind of doable here for Flusher, given his form so far. Jame and Kika will try to prevent him from doing it, though, and they will be successful. And AVANGAR pick up the pistol. So I like that we're going to see that. We're going to get a more closer game.
I like that we saw smoke highlights from Flusher straight away.
Yeah.
Awesome to see.
I wonder if the meta is going to change a little bit with that plant because, again, just see it abused so consistently. People even spraying it from catwalk and stuff like that, you know?
I don't know how much freedom there is to... What do you mean? Are you talking about the triple plant?
Yeah, the open plant and triple, yeah.
Okay, the inverse plant on default, I wonder how much room there is to plant in a slightly different place, or it has to be...
Yeah.
Because everyone goes straight in the corner. Like the triple plant, the full triple plant towards connector, you have to just be dug in the corner, but the other side of default, I don't know how much room there is to move up slightly to try and avoid a spray. Just like on Inferno B, they started planting on the coffin rather than in front of the coffin, because it's such a simple spray. Easy lineup. There's plenty of cavalry here for AVANGAR to for their horses to trample the plays on Fnatic in this eco round. I want to go to Kazakhstan, man.
Never been.
I've been to the closest I've been to is Azerbaijan.
How's that?
It was cool. I had a great time there. I went there for a fighting game event that was in the buildings that they built for the Eurovision Song Contest, and we stayed in the Flame Towers. It was epic.
Ooh.
I was going to go to Uzbekistan. I think Sanji's from Uzbekistan. They had a boat there, but the boat only leaves when the boat is full. So there's no guarantee you're going to get back in time. But I do want to go to Kazakhstan. I think it'll be awesome. James trying to send gold into Kazakhstan, taking him out very quickly in this round. Holding down at short position. He's wide for this one. You can see him moving around very, very quickly. That's a big ding-dong from Adren. That was 2 bullets. That was Predator style. Just needed a 3rd dot, but it wasn't necessary. That's a great start from AVANGAR.
There's a little bit noticed there up top right. They I don't know who does the little fun fact from you guys, but the fun fact there, JW has 7 up kills this half or this game so far. He does not normally average that high, and obviously with the old lineup with Twist, he was also an upper, so shared that responsibility. With this new roster again, I mean JW goes back to basically opping full time.
Nice.
That's also a big change here from the Fnatic roster.
Yeah, now he can overperform.
Now he can do his regular, usual shenanigans with the op.
You started saying shit, I was like, oh god, here we go again. Flusher will make it, well, not expensive, but Adren, I think he started that round with an MP9, to be honest, and then picks up an AK-47 later on, so he won't lose too much in terms of what he spent. And now it is 8-10, AVANGAR. Ooh, we got grenades from Fnatic. Was it Astralis who would put the short smoke up on Eco sometimes and then throw 3 or 4 grenades into the window? I think it was. Well, we have a smoke on short, and maybe we're going to see exactly that. Oh, yes, there's one. And there's a lot more than one. Ding-dong, but not doing much because James in a great position. He is invincible, apparently. There's another HE to go, though, and he's still got 70 HP. A very fast boost. Some pre-fire from Golden. They're going to block each other in the smoke, but James will manage to escape. Keeps some bullets in the hole, gets around the corner. Oh! Lovely stuff. He is playing with his food. Brolan remains in a 1 versus 5.
That was delicious. And Brolan will fall as well.
All the nades came to the left side there.
How much money do AVANGAR have now? Look at that. It's really building, isn't it? Fnatic, they need to get a win here so they can start working on that AVANGAR economy. I do wonder what success Fnatic will find on this T side, liking the priority behind the Kriegs. Now, AVANGAR, where's Jame at? Where is he at? Because he could be... Okay, he hasn't got already a spawn.
He went connector last round. The first weapon round for Fnatic.
Okay. Oh, Brolan. Missed opportunity. That was he had a lot of vision there for that kill. That's a shame. Yep. Looks like Fnatic will go for a set piece on A though. Looking to... Oh dear. JW missing that one. That's okay. In comes the push. Keep it simple. Key cut. Close by Sandwich. Decapitates Brolan. The trade is in though. And some positions being gained by Fnatic. JW wins a fight in the B apartments of all places against Sanji. There's only 3 left for AVANGAR, and they're out of position. Nice by Buster. Working on that flank, or at least threatening the flank. I think it's really smart that he's gone back to connector. What an angle.
Now it's just Buster in that connector position. We've still got the rotation from Flusher just in case. I don't believe they know where he is just yet, but they'll soon will. Crim's taken up. Buster continues to move back, but he's got a defuse kit. He can't possibly imagine that somebody's going to be top mid, so we'll see what he chooses to do. He's got some time. It seems he'll try to draw the players up, but will he really commit to a defuse? Spotting Golden by default. Now, his only choice is to hold on to the bomb at this point. He's waited too long, and he's realized Flush is coming in from the back, so he'll take everybody out, but he won't take the round.
So actually, that could work out because, yeah, Fnatic will get the full buy and they'll spend every ounce of their money, and AVANGAR have a good spot to reset them.
Yeah.
So this could be pretty good in the long run.
That's still a really good round from Fnatic though.
Yeah.
Was looking pretty dire there, losing the entry.
It was cool that JW was lurking in the B apartments because he initially was in mid and threw nades around middle. So I don't think if you're a CT, you'd anticipate him to go to B apartments after that.
Adren starts in the window. At the major, Adren had a lot of difficulty. His position felt very brittle on the CT side around that connector position. There seemed to be a lot of difficulty, but it seemed to have developed into a more positive place as the major continued. Now Jame, he's really feeling it today as well. Misses a flick though, but he can run distraction. Is he ready for gold? And he absolutely is. There's a player in mid as well. Has a look around. And, oh, look at the health on these Fnatic players. He finds the lurker in JW. He's in the Matrix right now.
JW actually shooting 2 bullets in mid. Was slow to begin with. I like this from Flush Up, but it's a really bad plan, so it's not really going to work out for him, but...
Oh, that is a really bad plan, yeah. At this point, maybe just run away.
Yeah, because they didn't get...
Look at the awareness.
Because they never got Jamie there. They were forced to do that little terrible plant, hoping that JW would just be able to flank him later. That's basically what Dan was talking about, what Fnatic did not want happening. Thankfully, at least, they got the bomb plant. But 3 alive from AVANGAR, so...
That was cool.
It's just so funny sometimes. Like, Jame runs around with the USP a lot when he has an AWP. I like how aggressive and active he is.
He seems very, almost hyperactive in this particular game. Maybe it's the style that Fnatic have been showing in the aggression. He seems, I wouldn't go as far as to say like a nervous cat or something, but he definitely has the agility. Crims takes one in the head through the lip of the plateau, if you will.
I like that peek because he's covering for someone to run fast to connector from mid, and you don't see AWPers take an angle specifically for that at that timing of the round very often. So it's pretty cool. It's back at ticket now, always moving around. And Fnatic struggling now. They will lose JW towards the B apartments, and the bomb is down towards mid. Obviously, it's in control of Fnatic, but it's because they're trying to make plays around the map to open things up, but instead it's closing around them. And this is looking pretty bad. Flush is going to have to make some kind of a play, but James on ticket. He's looking very safe. Oh, hello.
2 smokes left and 1 flashbang. Moving back towards A though. That's the first one. That's just a flash actually.
I guess that was supposed to go over triple. 35 seconds left. 4 of the 5 players are here. They haven't spotted the bomb just yet. Jane being teased, and there finally is the kill over the smoke. Now, do they continue to press Fnatic? Because surely they are doomed. Still looking for an entry. There it finally is, but there are so many CTs here. More utility to dump as a HE. There's an angle for it. Kika will just go out and shoot people in the head. And there is number 11 for Vanguard. The score is tied. It's going down to the wire now. Maybe this is where the real test starts for Fnatic. $3,500 for most.
Yeah,
James is ready today.
Fnatic's game plan has really been narrowed here by AVANGAR. Fnatic really wants the mid pressure. Not really been giving it. Been getting it rather. Been losing the entry there every single time.
Yeah.
Kind of forces Fnatic over to hit at just the A bomb site without anything, so tough so far.
To change the pace, perhaps a B rush coming in from Fnatic. Look, but look, you were talking about this before, how AVANGAR like to stack towards the B bomb site in favor of playing A retakes, and here it is. They got basically 4 players before Fnatic have actually arrived onto the bomb site. There's already 4. Now there's 5 players here for AVANGAR.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is absolutely crazy. James on fire, but there we go. Finally a kill for Flusher. He finds himself too, able to reload almost behind the smoke. Somehow, after the initial aggression and frags from AVANGAR, Fnatic still cut them down to 3, and that is the 2 rather.
Yes,
that is the power of Fnatic. Again, it's just nice to see going forward, but again, now AVANGAR are in the lead. 4 rounds away from the first map. Still neck and neck at the moment, it feels like. Although, I say that. Fnatic have only won 1 round in this half.
They haven't really built anything consistently either.
No, not at all. And this, I think this is the first round of JW actually has an op on this T side. We'll see what he can do with it. A little bit slower in mid this time. Oh, he actually survives. That's lucky.
Yeah, James looked like he had that one, didn't he? He's got that same angle. But there's got to be respect. There's got to be fear in terms of Fnatic understanding that James is in the catwalk position. Kika spraying him. Oh, that's actually landed absolutely completely on Flusher. Down to 54 now. Buster, there goes the peak. He gets himself a dink, I think, through the woods. James now, with lots of work to do, does get 1. But now comes the boost into the window. James dropping into the window as well. Oh, what is he up to? What is he up to there? Trying to get back out.
That's a little bit odd. Crims at least heard it.
He like changed his mind for some reason after moving out. Sanji can still remedy the situation though. Oh dear.
Nice round by Crims here.
Kick over frag through the crawl space, and they seem to be heading towards the B bomb site. Fnatic, and now they know there can only be 1 person there because Adren shoots through connector. So they're 3v1 on the B bomb site at best. Kika spotted by the market. There are flashbangs but no smokes or anything. Adren trying to make his way through, taken out in connector, leaving Kika alone. The bomb has to make its way and has to go past the choke points, but Kika's moving away. Maybe looking for the player in mid. Maybe if he found something there, he would go for it, perhaps.
Can he make the jump? Oh, okay, he's going to go towards... Oh, he's going to get the AWP, so he's going to go for a save. I respect it. That's the second round for Fnatic.
Yeah, and they got that mid presence they so desperately wanted.
They
Even though
look
JW never got a kill there, just the fact that he was keeping James busy the whole time. And was just focused up in mid there. Leaving Crims and I think it was Balon in underground.
Yeah, it looks a bit awkward, didn't it, for AVANGAR? Like James like jumping around, and that was kind of weird in the window.
I mean, that whole changes, right, if it hits that initial shot on JW.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Okay, well, we've got AVANGAR tied with Fnatic now that Fnatic win that round.
Super important round here. It's going to be the last buy from AVANGAR before they're forced to save.
What was he up to?
Was he trying to just get the AK and it just didn't work?
I'm not sure.
I know that there was an update yesterday to fix the E bug, right?
Yeah. Also, that engagement with Sanji was also weird. But here we go. Adren goes across now to Catwalk with the AUG. And James has his AWP. And so does Buster. James towards stairs and Buster towards the B balcony.
Yeah, here we go. This is what we were looking for. Second AWP on the B bomb site. Oh god, that HE. That is a mini catastrophe. 4 players now in the mid position for Fnatic either end. We'll see how the CTs approach. Will Sanji's timing be good as they look to boost? It looks like it will be. Catches JW just as the smoke goes up. On the HE as well. Good damage as Crims backs off, just in case there's more aggression from AVANGAR. So there's a 5 versus 4 the CTs were looking for.
Trying with the boost again. Didn't wait for the smoke this time around, though. Sanji a little bit smarter last round. He actually peeked that angle, ended up dying by Crims. An off angle this time around. JW did not clear it. Forced them again over to A. Positioning-wise, though, it's a little bit better this time around. They do have some mid-presence. Split the bomb site. We'll see here, actually, utility as well, so it's not over yet.
Kiko's in that position that can really just make things very difficult and awkward for the T side. He'll get 1 kill. Now they're starting to harass him. They will find the frag, but can they find any more? The time is against them to get this bomb down. It's not really a safe spot to plant. It's like Golden might get taken down. Yep, just before he can get that bomb planted, he is taken out, as will Flusher get taken out as well by Adren. So another round for AVANGAR, and another round in which Fnatic struggle to find the advantages that they need. Losing a player in middle. And you know, you can kind of see the change in terms of AVANGAR look a lot more comfortable, sort of just running different tactics and different plays, you know, different aggressions with James. Now they've got the double op set up. So there's been lots that has changed and shifted, been dynamic for AVANGAR's CT side.
Big focus early from Fnatic towards A. There's a Molotov down, 3 across the map, 1 in connector, 1 on the ramp, 1 towards B. No lurkers towards B though for Fnatic. We've got Golden making his way to connector. And that might be quite timely. Fnatic backing away now. You can see Golden rushing forward because he doesn't want to connect with that molly. However, I think the trajectory maybe told him he had a chance to simply make a play like this. Now, he doesn't know if somebody's in shadow, so trying to make his way into jungle, he would be exposed to shadow. So you have to, it's a 50-50, you have to choose which way you want to go. And now if he crosses connector as well, he could be seen from that short position. So he's going to try and wait for an opportunity. Adren had no idea he could be there. And now it's on. Fnatic originally moving away from the B bomb site, but thanks to Golden's play, it's on.
Yeah, Kiko will remove JW though, so there's the avenue from CT towards default is covered by AVANGAR. They've got Jane there with the AWP as well. The inverse default plant, I believe, is coming in. Sanji winning the battle around the smoke as well. It makes things a bit easier here now for AVANGAR as Fnatic are forced back to Tetris and the pit positions. That's not a good look for them. Incendiary to clear some forward spots on the bomb side itself, and AVANGAR will soon make the push. And Fnatic, they're just going to have to try to hit some stunning shots now. They are in a heavy disadvantage. Good trade, though, from Flusher. Needs to do more, though. There's the spray, running out of bullets as well. And Jamel gets himself a kill onto Flusher. So there's enough time for that defuse. 14 rounds on the board for AVANGAR, and it's looking really smooth this whole half, I would say, for AVANGAR.
Yeah, another great retake here from AVANGAR, taking their time, knowing as well Fnatic doesn't have any utility left. Even though the bomb is planted good towards that ramp, can't really be peeking up that slope there with 3 AVANGAR members just waiting for you.
Yeah, especially if you notice, Sanji smoked off the jungle connector position that the T's would throw on an execute. And James did a similar smoke on CT. His was more deliberate to look over it or look underneath it almost in the corner, which I think made Fnatic scared to even peek into the site. In case there were one ways, 2 targets, selects one very quickly. Very nice from Buster. Often your brain will make you shoot between 2 players, especially that fast. That was very decisive from him, and just as fast we have Fnatic players in connector. The bomb's been left top mid though. We have a lurker towards A, and that's their first frag as well, 4 versus 4. In the meantime, Sanji's already pushing through the B apartment, and he might make an MVP play. He might get sound cues if somebody rotates to get the bomb. Looks like Flush was going to do so, but in the meantime, AVANGAR are just getting wiped out everywhere.
Yeah, it's just pretty key that Sanji finds the bomb, and he does. Yeah, there it is. He sees it. That's really, really important. He's going to check T-spawn first. Kika gets himself one here as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for wasting time now. Sanji has a smoke as well, so he could find ways to make this awkward, but you can see that he does not quite sure exactly what's clear. I believe he checked T-spawn at the very least, so he knows that that should be okay for now. And there is a beautiful spot from Sanji, takes down JW. And now there's 40 seconds, and they don't have the bomb. And Sanji's on the bomb. How do they solve this?
Yeah, I mean, what a hero play from Sanji there, pushing in the B tunnels. JW, I think he was a little bit smarter, trying to flank, but I mean, this is looking really bad now for Fnatic, even in terms of time.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
20 seconds. Can they even make it to a site in time? Kika, don't die now. You're just don't die.
The problem is Flusher can still run to either side, so he kind of has to re-aggress. And Flusher's made his way past the corner at 10 seconds, and is he going to be able to make it there in time? Kika trying to get the angle. He's even got time to throw the Molotov through the flames. Kika, now he's got to hide. It's really weird. 2 seconds, and Flusher's going to clutch it. There were so many little things you could do there. After Sanji takes JW out, there's a chance he could... I mean, he doesn't know where the T's are coming from, which is a big issue, so maybe it's partly why he stands his ground, but he could fall back to a site while they nervously try and clear the areas, expecting him to be there. Really unlucky if Sanji doesn't get that kill through the smoke. Nervous stuff. Should have got that. That would have been a round over for sure. But again, because the bomb is in mid, even taking out one player, there's still time to run to one of the sites. So Kika has to re-aggress. Very nervous stuff. A good comeback attempt, but look at what it's done to AVANGAR's money.
It would be kind of crazy if that's what actually turns this around, because indeed, as you say, Fnatic should be good for that 14th round. We'll have to see what there is to offer on this B-bomb side. Jame with the AWP with the biggest gun for AVANGAR is towards middle at the moment, so he's not going to be able to support B apartments. There's a smoke down there though, and Fnatic don't know what lurks behind, so they are taking it slow. The bomb is by itself right now, which is a bit odd in this kind of a round, but it will make its way towards the push in the B apartments. Sanji finds a good timing for this smoke. Could make things a little bit awkward, and there it is. Could be a defensive smoke. And that should buy time. Jamie is rotating around. What is this? He gets himself a dink down to 2 HP, Crims. Almost expected to see a knife come out. Sanji playing in the smoke. Oh my, he could make really huge issues here for Fnatic. Sanji goes up onto Van, but it's going to be Buster. They're sneaking all over the place. I have no idea how they're finding all these engagements. And now James arrived towards Market. Looks like he's thinking about saving the AWP. Their money is not great. It is kind of crazy that he spent $5,000 in this round.
But look at Flusher here. This is so smart. Last thing that AVANGAR wants now is loosen that up. This has the potential of being overtime here.
It does. I'd say I do like it when AVANGAR do buys like this, because just because no one does it doesn't mean it can't be done. You know, if the AWP is in the right place, as long as you're confident that you can find ways to save it. And obviously, you know, he's very good at finding ways to make sure that he doesn't overstep things. But at the same time, he's also very good aggressively. Like, he knows how to play aggressively. I think that's one thing that people miss when they're kind of memeing on him. It's not like he's someone that doesn't take risks. You know, it's just about what risks do you take.
Yeah, and sure, he's not a gambler in the sense of he wouldn't really be going for the retakes if he feels like the odds are against him, but leaves them dangerous because it leaves them always being able to buy next round.
I like that this team plays their own game. They are leaders, not followers.
Yep.
That's always good to be individual in a game such as this, or anything really, or most things. 14 apiece. Fnatic couldn't hunt too much in that last round. They had to be conservative because, again, some of their players before that bomb went off had $100 in the bank, so they need to think about the future as well.
So Adren knows that this is a fake because he has full vision of the site and he knows nothing's happening here. So surely AVANGAR will realize sooner than later this is a fake on the A bomb side.
Well, Buster's gone all the way up to the middle of mid, so Sanji's got a lot to do. So far, so good. The MP9, of course. Buster activating as well, doing some damage. Maybe they can follow up on that. Jame holding the angle towards the bench. So important for retakes. Flusher trying to find something on the A bomb site in the meantime. Trying to go for the flank. That leaves Crims alone. He's got 49 seconds. The bomb is in B. He's waiting for an overextension. But AVANGAR have 2 men over him. Now he's on 17 HP. Again, you can spray through that wooden panel, but he's going for the dry peak. Of course, if he doesn't get a kill, he's going to die instantly, pretty much, if he does go for that spray. And there we go. It's game point for AVANGAR. Really going down to all 30 rounds. No bomb plant for Fnatic. Will leave them a little short. Golden with 2,800 in the bank.
So that was quite an interesting round from Fnatic. What were your thoughts on going for the fake there, Robin?
I understand the reasoning because they have gone A lot of times. It didn't really work out, though. I think for this round here, you do see Fnatic just going back to what has worked, which is that A bomb site. A really fast round here, though. There's a JW up in mid. I kind of like this from Fnatic just because, I mean, B hasn't really been working, and they have noticed as well they kind of need that mid take, but playing it a little bit safer this time around.
Jame on 28 kills at the moment. Golden and Flusher, first to fall. There's Brodan gone as well. Then there were two, one of which is towards B and JW. Maybe trying to get the Virtus Pro strat out. Late rotation with a short plant, although he's going underpass rather than through B post-rotation. Crim's trying to creep, he's got the bomb. He might end up being double peaked. You can see Adren's playing the get right spot, some people call it. North angle, people come out ramp looking towards CT. In that position, you can catch him off guard. There goes JW. Now it's a 4 versus 1. Crims doesn't know where to look, and that will be the last round going to AVANGAR. 16-14, a close one, but promising for Fnatic despite losing the map.
Yeah, I mean, their CT side was actually really impressive. I think it's a little bit, it's hard for Fnatic there in that situation because it is hard to come up with something, especially on that low buy there, but it is easy to read for AVANGAR, knowing as well, I mean, that last call, what has really been working for Fnatic. It is obviously these A takes. Maybe would have preferred Fnatic to try and take mid control a little bit more, so AVANGAR didn't have the 3 members just completely focusing on this bomb site, but nonetheless, I think impressive from AVANGAR as well. Overall, their T side was also a little bit 50-50 considering Fnatic's aggressive play, but take the win, 16-14. I think at the end of it, it's all that matters.
Yeah, it looked like, for me on that first half, that AVANGAR did struggle against Fnatic, but it felt like they were doing a lot. They were putting themselves in spots where they had advantages, but Fnatic just somehow found the wins. I didn't get that same feeling on the second half, but that's, I think, to be expected, just because, again, Fnatic are not going to have as many layers to their T side as AVANGAR will. So that's just part and parcel of being in the position they are in. But indeed, it is promising. I like that we saw JW feeling that comfort, feeling that flow. That's really cool to see. He's been in the game for a long time. It's a player that's achieved everything, more or less. And I think everyone's waiting for Fnatic to once again, well, I mean, they need to bring the Swedish scene up. It's got to be them or NIP, and NIP are struggling still, so.
Yeah, that was a good start from Fnatic despite losing the map, going all 30 rounds. And both snipers for each team look pretty sharp, and I'm sure, I say both, I think both definitely for AVANGAR, because Buster will have something to say on Dust 2, which is the next map. That comes up after the break, so don't go too far away because there's more carnage to come. We'll see you back here shortly.